And the action on this guy is really good. And of course you could open it with the, you can actually make it so that it works just like the Vision R. Actually allows for you to be able to pull out this entire piece. This goes into this channel here and it locks the blade in place along with this stop pin right here. Bam! What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel and you're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything knives and EDC gear here. Today we're going to be reviewing this guy right here, the Civivi Vision FG. And yeah, we're going to get into all the good stuff, the good, the bad, the ugly about this knife. I got a chance to unbox this beast of an EDC knife here about, I want to say about a week and a half ago. Maybe it's been 2 weeks probably at this point. And I've just been having a blast carrying this guy and EDC in it and just trying to get as much feedback as possible. Now, before we get started, if you can smash that like button, I would really appreciate it. It does help out the video reach a larger audience. If this is your first time stopping by, also subscribe to the channel will be really appreciated. There are affiliate links for this knife and every single knife that you'll see in this video down in the description below. Those links do help out the channel at no extra cost to you. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Grab some popcorn, refill the coffee, and let's get into the video. Let's get a quick measurement on this guy here, shall we? Let's see, overall length on this bad boy coming in. It is exactly, I want to say, yeah, it's a hair under 8 inches overall length right there. As far as blade, right here, we're looking at almost 3.5. However, the cutting edge is almost 3 1/4 or 3 1/8 right there. Cutting edge. The handle is going to be around 4.5 on the handle right there. Those are your measurements. What do we got going on with this bad boy here as far as deployment? Well, first of all, we have the locking mechanism, and let's jump right into it here, shall we? The Civivi Vision FG is actually rocking a Snex design. The locking mechanism here is called the Superlock. Right, so you have a spine-based locking mechanism, very similar to the one in the Sharks lock, and we're going to get into that a little bit more later on as well. So back of the spine based type of locking mechanism, it is really good and strong. You can of course thumb deploy this guy all day every day, and you could reverse flick this guy as well. Boom, just like so. And the action on this guy is really good, and of course you could open it with the Superlock. So let's get some quick comparisons on this guy then, just to get that out of the way. We'll bring in the usual suspects, the PM2 right here. Very close to the PM2 actually, just a little bit shorter by hair. Definitely larger than the Para 3. All right, what about the Sharks lock here on the Demko AD 20.5? It's actually larger than the AD 20.5, no doubt about that. Wrap Model 1 here at the top. It is definitely smaller than the Wrap Model 1. Wrap Model 2, of course, going to be a little bit of a tiny guy right here. So definitely larger than the Wrap Model 2. And we'll do 2 more. Here is the CJRB Pyrite Alt with the Warncliffe blade right there. And a recent one that I'm EDCing as well. And I'll be dropping a review here soon. The Kershaw Iridium, right? So there you go. You guys get an idea right there. Get a ballpark. It is actually probably just as long as the Iridium, as a matter of fact. And it is actually indeed larger than the Pyrite Alt. Length and height here compared to some of the other guys. The Kershaw Iridium, the CJRB Pyrite Alt right there. Very comparable, maybe a little bit wider, because of how much the Superlock sticks out. The blade also sticks out significantly from the handle. Wrap Model 1 and Wrap Model 2. Definitely going to be a little bit closer to the Wrap Model 1. PM2 and Para 3. Now, of course, these Spyderco knives are going to be a little bit, wider there, of course, because of the Spidey hole. This guy's going to be just a little bit slimmer, of course, than the Spyderco's. And last but not least, the AD 20.5, regardless of blade shape. It's going to be just a hair, maybe just a hair slimmer, if anything, but very close, very comparable there. Blade stock thickness here next to the AD 20.5, of course, is going to be the Vision FG here on the right. It's going to be quite a bit thicker right there, no doubt about that. Next to the Para 3 or PM2 for that matter, still going to be just a hair thicker there. Wrap Model 1, pretty comparable there to the Wrap Model 1 indeed. Hard to tell which one is a little bit wider there. Of course, the Wrap Model 2 is going to be a little bit narrower, as you can see. Next to the Kershaw Iridium, yep, the Iridium here on the left is definitely going to be much slimmer indeed. And last but not least, the CJRB Pyrite, also going to be a slimmer knife right there. All right, so what do we got going on here blade-wise? We have a very nice satin finish, what Civivi calls reverse tanto, but I'm going to call it a Warncliffe, perhaps a sheep's foot blade going on this guy. Right, get the blade police out here, as soon as they're done with going after metal complex, of course. And yeah, very good, nice looking blade indeed. This guy has been really sharp all throughout the use that I've been giving it during my EDC task. And we'll be doing a paper cutting and cardboard cutting test here towards the end. Do make sure to check that out. As far as the handle goes, we have Jade, natural Jade G10 going on here. First time ever that I picked a natural Jade G10, so that's been interesting, EDCing that for the first time. Got the 3 holes going on here, which are nice and see-through, so you can see there. And yeah, very unique design. Again, reminded me a lot of the Spyderco Smock that also has the 3-hole or the speed design holes there as well. Full exposed liners all throughout on this guy. And then we have the deep carry pocket clip. We're gonna get into the pocket clip here in just a bit, because if there's anything that really threw me off, is gonna be this pocket clip here. It is not centered. It is definitely pushed up towards the top portion or spine portion of the handle there. We'll get more into that. And then there is that crazy drop with a immediate rise there that yeah, makes the carrying experience a little bit wild there, and not necessarily the best, because it's so exposed. It could definitely risk catching on things and stuff like that, but we'll get more into that as we go. Let's do a quick blade stock thickness on this bad boy here, maybe right around here. It is 0.11 inches right there on the thickest portion, and I want to say maybe it drops down to like a 0.01. So definitely gets really pointy here, right? Very pokey, useful tip right there, which is really good. It is a flat grind for the most part on this guy, not a hollow grind, but a flat grind, even though the blade is a little bit thicker here, and then it drops down. We have, of course, this is a Snex Tan, that is a knife designer. This is one of his designs, again, with the Superlock. And as far as steel, we have a Nitro-V steel going on. It's also printed very tiny right here. Not sure if the camera is going to catch that, but yes, Nitro-V going on here, which is actually a very well balanced steel. Right, very good. I want to say maybe a step above D2, if anything. Right, you guys let me know if you have more insight based on the basic research that I've done on Nitro-V, and I'm not a metallurgist or anything like that. It's actually pretty well balanced and pretty solid for this price range. Get a quick weight on this bad boy here. Again, we have those holes in the handle, so that should help. However, this is a little bit on the, I want to say the sweet point for weight-wise for my pocket knives. So without further ado, it is 4.3. Always wait until the last second, because that number always changes on me. 4.3 ounces on this guy, total weight. And just for reference, the iridium is a little bit lighter, about an ounce lighter, 3.3. 4.3, okay, and we'll do just one more. Maybe the clip point version of the AD 20.5 comes in at 3.5, so even that one is lighter than the Vision FG. Quick hardware check on this guy. As usual, the tools that I use in the channel here are very recommendable. You can find them in the links down below. Those links, again, help out the channel at no extra cost to you. And I'm looking at perhaps T8, I want to say, and this is a large one right here. So perhaps T8. Is there a T10? I don't know. We're about to find out. And any T6, maybe the pocket clip. So let's take a look at that. So my T8, here we go. Yeah, T8 right there, indeed, in the pivot. And T8 is too big for the pocket clip, so that's going to be T6, I'm sure. Yep, T6 on the pocket clips, which are very recessed, by the way, in case I hadn't already mentioned that. So that's nice. And last but not least, we have another T8 right here in the back. All right, so pivot is T8, right here in the back is T8, and then the only other screws you're going to encounter are going to be the pocket clip, which is T6. As far as balance goes, this guy is going to be balanced around right there, right? So it's not crazy butt heavy. It's going to be just maybe a hair behind the Superlock little lever there in the back. That's where your balance is at with this guy. So yeah, meats and potatoes time, right? What's going on with this guy? As far as the EDC experience, what has it been all about, and everything else in between. So yeah, first of all, I want to say again, going back to the Snex Superlock, right? That is a very unique piece for this knife. Just like I mentioned in the unboxing, this is a more affordable version to the We Knife Vision R, and that is a $250 knife, I believe. It's made out of titanium, had the pocket clip right up here. Yeah, very premium knife from We Knife, and I'm glad that they decided to make a budget, more affordable version to their more affordable brand Civivi knives, and this is what came out, the Vision FG. So that it is, of course, more accessible to all the knife enthusiasts and EDC guys out there that love to rock a sharp tool with you on a daily basis. There's some testing done out there that shows the Superlock is actually a very, very strong locking mechanism, which is really, really nice. You actually have an additional hole right here, like I pointed out during the unboxing, and you can sort of see there how this lever kind of pulls back, right? Also works as your detent. There's no detent ball or anything like that on this guy. It is on ball bearings, so the action right here is very, very good. Rocks back and forth just like you would want to. It makes that wrist action there very, very nice. So when the knife is about to lock, just pay attention to that hole right there. When the knife is about to lock, you'll see this goes into this channel here, and it locks the blade in place along with this stop pin right here, all putting in work to make sure that blade doesn't go anywhere. As a matter of fact, this guy doesn't have any play up and down or side to side or anything like that whatsoever. There's a modification that you can do that I've seen from Nick Chavaz and Doodley's Dagger, if I'm saying his channel right, and a few other guys. Now by default, since it's a production knife, they decided to go with this approach here where the bar actually stays in place and it doesn't come out. But just like the designer, Snextan, showed in his Instagram, I believe, you could actually make it so that it works just like the Vision R, and it, you know, actually come out. Actually allows for you to be able to pull out this entire piece if you wanted to, and it will work very similar to how it does on the Vision R, if that's what you wanted to do. Haven't messed with it yet because I kind of like it the way it is. I feel like it would drive me a little bit crazy if it came out. Maybe I'll try it in the future, if anything, if I really want to sort of mess with it a little bit. Also, the fact that it's a spine-based mechanism here, it's going to make it so this knife is really, really nice and ambidextrous friendly for both righties and lefties. Very similar, again, not quite exactly the same as the Shark's lock, right? But the same principles are there, right? The fact that the locking can be, you know, deployed, unlocked or closed with that bar there on the spine, which is really, really good. So they have that going for it, which is very, very nice. And again, good for the righties and lefties. I am so glad that they put a cutout here for lefties as well. So if you want to reverse your clip for lefties, you got that option there, which is good. Tip up only carry on this guy. There are no, you know, holes or anything like that for tip down carry. If you're still doing that for some reason, again, I'm not hating, I'm just saying, you know, that most knives these days, most people these days, they choose to carry tip up for a variety of different reasons. That could be a whole separate video right there. Let me know in the comments if you like me to make that video. All right, that being said, again, the metal here is Nitro-V. It is very, very well balanced. This one is the only option that actually had a satin finish blade. All the other options on this guy had a black coating of some sort, and there is micarta, there's G10, black G10 and things like that. There's even a Damascus version. But hey, you know, I'm a sucker for satin finishes on my knives, so in order for me to pick this guy up, I had to go with the Jade, natural Jade G10 scales there, and so far I've been loving it. Has not been an issue for me whatsoever. And again, like I mentioned earlier, Nitro-V is a pretty well balanced steel, so it should do you very, very well for all your EDC cutting tasks. This knife came out so sharp out of the box, I was able to shave some hair from my arm here. Still waiting for those to grow back up, as a matter of fact. Does it cut hair? Let's see. Oh, okay, it is cutting a good amount of hair right there. That is sharp out of the box. That is really, really sharp. It is razor sharp, no doubt about that. You have a very decently deep carry pocket clip. Maybe about a hair of this little peak right here is going to show out of your pocket, but not much. And the only beef that I have with this knife, if anything, honestly, I love this knife for everything that it brings to the table. I like the weight, I like the deployment, the fidgety, how well it has cut and performed all throughout EDC use. But if there's anything that I will pick on, it would be the pocket clip right here. So two things, right, that I was alluding to earlier. The fact that it is not in the middle, right? Some people like that for whatever reason. I really like my clips to be symmetrical, and this being off center right there feels a little bit off, right? When holding the knife. So this takes us into the ergonomics in a way, right? So yeah, the only sore spot that you feel when you are, you know, getting a good grip on this knife, it's going to be the fact that the pocket clip has this raised bill right here. It's pretty high up. I'm not sure why they didn't do a more shallow swoop like they do in so many other knives, like so many other knives have. Even an example here, like on this Spyderco aftermarket clip. Look how low that sits. It's nice and round, right? Doesn't need to go that high up at all, and it's just a beauty to EDC. And it's also so comfortable when actually gripping hard on the handle there, right? But yeah, not the same deal here, right? The more you grip on it, right, this is gonna really sort of dig into your palm right there. That's what's really gonna happen. And for some people, that might not be an issue. For me, that was about the only thing that got in my nerves a little bit. And that's the only thing that I would want them to do differently on this knife, if anything. This might be a good knife to look into aftermarket clips just for that reason alone. I'm not sure why Civivi, after collaborating with Next on such a beautiful design, also going the extra mile to bring down the price and bring it to the more affordable Civivi brand, that they would just stick some random pocket clip right there and just kind of mess up with something so perfect. But again, that's the only nitpick right there. I did notice when I'm gripping this guy, right, I mean, not that this is the reason why, but my fingers do kind of fall in each of the holes there. My index, middle, and ring finger, for whatever that's worth, right? That's something to keep in mind. That being said, you can forward choke as well if you want to. It's not the most rounded fender there, if anything. It's not the most rounded finger choil in the world, but I feel like it gets the job done and feels like you're close to the cutting edge, but you still have quite a bit to go there. So it's not necessarily a risk. Feels very similar to the forward choke here, or the finger choil on the Pyrite Alt, right? That is very good, very functional. And then kind of like in the Iridium right here, you would want to be a little bit more careful because there's definitely no roundness to that forward choke at all. So here you would definitely want to be a little bit more cautious. But with the Vision FG, I feel like that is just perfect. And of course, it gets the job done. You could also do, which is I found pretty useful with this guy too, run your index finger, you know, all the way along the top of the spine there on the blade, get your utility cuts. That's where the Warncliffe blade is gonna definitely excel, right? The tip is just about lined up with the pivot, just about level with the pivot right there, and it's gonna really help you with all those different utility cuts. You could do the little, you know, pinch grip if anything. You could do that as well. A little pinch action going on there if you needed to. Man, I don't know what it is about Warncliffe blades lately, but I've just been loving them, and they're just so useful for EDC tasks. It's just wonderful. Now, of course, it is a satin finish. Probably see all my fingerprints right there on the blade, so I'm constantly wiping this guy. And that is okay. That is a price that I'm willing to pay for a savage, sexy looking satin finish. You have exposed liners on this guy all throughout, if I hadn't mentioned that yet. And as far as linear hole, there isn't one. For my personal preference, I'm glad that that's the case. You can, however, put a linear here through this backspacer here if you want to do that. That's your solution right there. You wouldn't want to do it off of this spacer bar here, because when you pull on this bar here with the Superlock, it actually hits completely. This kind of sort of works like a stop pin for the Superlock bar. Of course, there is a spring on this guy. Check out a disassembly video on this bad boy if you want to see more in details, kind of what the mechanism looks like when it is disassembled. But it's pretty straightforward. Of course, make sure you have somewhere to securely put all your parts so nothing goes missing. And yeah, you wouldn't want to lose that spring, but of course it is spring actuated, so that when you let it go, it let it go like Elsa, right, from Frozen. It goes back all the way up. I don't have large hands per se, got medium hands, and there's about this much left right here on the handle. And if I forward choke, then it looks something like this. Still got even more handle left. So that's good. I like the fact that I thought this knife was going to be smaller for some reason. I like the fact that it came exactly at the size that it is. So it gives me a nice solid tool feeling every time I'm using it. And honestly, I wouldn't have wanted it any smaller if I'm being honest with you guys. In case you haven't seen the unboxing, let's do a quick paper cutting test. This is after some use, of course. So let's see how much of a sharp edge this guy has retained. All right, there you go. See, this has some nice curls right there going on. And yeah, as far as full cuts, it is still going to perform. No doubt about that. I want to say I used this guy to destroy a number of cardboard boxes just the other day. I felt so confident making all those cuts. So of course some cardboard as well. Keep in mind when cutting cardboard, don't ever cut perpendicular like this, or rather at an angle like that, and it would look something like this. Bam. So would I recommend this guy? Absolutely, I would definitely recommend this guy, no doubt. It is, I have my eyes on the Vision R for the longest time, right? But of course it was so expensive at $250. This isn't quite on the budget territory per se. It's very borderline. It is more than $75, so it's a little bit closer to the $100 mark. If anything, I believe these come in at $78, and with tax you're looking at almost 80 some dollars plus shipping, depending on where you buy it and things like that. Again, check out the affiliate links down below, which again help out the channel at no extra cost to you. But yes, for the price you get a chance to check out the Superlock, and it is a wonderful fidgety knife that just has a lot going for it. Some minor cons, if anything, like that pocket clip, but hey, that could easily be fixed with an aftermarket clip, no doubt. Well, there you have it, guys. There is the Civivi Vision FG. Again, a very solid EDC knife for around $78, close to $80 with tax. And again, do I wish it was more affordable than that? Yeah, that would have been nice. However, it is a collaboration knife, so it's not a Civivi in-house design, but rather a collaboration with a knife designer. So of course, that's going to add to the total cost indeed. It is also a great way, affordable way to get into the Superlock. If you haven't checked out the Superlock and you're trying to get into it, and of course the $250 Vision R is very expensive, and this is a very affordable way to get into that. If you're looking for a very good usable Wharncliffe blade, this is definitely one that you can't go wrong with, so definitely check it out. Let me know in the comments, guys, if I missed anything. If there's anything specific that you want to know about this guy, let me know in the comments. And hey, at this point, if you haven't still liked the video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It helps out the video and the channel grow and the content to reach a larger audience. If you're not yet subscribed, this will be an awesome time to hit that subscribe button. Of course, I make all kinds of knife and EDC gear content on a daily basis. And if you want to take your support a step further, check out the links below to my Patreon page, where you can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. Again, highly recommend this guy. I've had a blast EDC in this thing like crazy. I've had it in my pocket non-stop for about a week before I had to switch over to the next knife that I'm going to be reviewing right here, the Kershaw Iridium. Chances are by the time you are done watching this video, the review video for the Kershaw Iridium will be ready to go. If that is the case, I'm going to go ahead and put a card right here for you guys to check out that video next. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.